Hi, dear students. Once again, I am welcoming you. I hope you all are well. You remain at your home and you are safe too. And also taking care of yourselves and your family too. And I am very much happy to inform you that in spite of our physical closing of our college, we have still maintained the teaching process and learning process, and we become able to complete the text, that is the text, the Iliad and book 1. And in our discussion on that textual analysis, we have completed 3 consecutive lectures, and this lecture, that means today's lecture, will be the concluding part of it. In our previous lecture, we completed the textual discussion till 540 or 550 odd line. Now we will reach that point, or to that point we have stopped in our previous lecture, and we will begin from there. So let's go to that point. Here, this is okay. So we stopped at that particular point, that is nearly 550 maybe 50 outline, that particular point. We stopped at that point where we observed that all the Athenians, these 20 men, along with that greatest leader Odysseus, have returned from the city of Christ. They become able to pacify Lord Apollo, and also returning back the daughter of Christ named Chrysis. And all the Athenians are now elated. They are now in a jolly, joyful moment. Okay, and at that particular moment, Achilles is now in sad mood. He is sitting beside his ship, because this is the first time he is remained outside from all the Athenians, and he does not participate in that winning battle. So at that particular point we stopped our previous lecture, that is part 3 lecture. Now we will proceed further. 12 days later, the company of gods came back together to Olympus with Zeus in the lead. So we have come across that Zeus now returns to his own place, that is Olympus. You know, in our previous lecture we talked that Olympus is now vacant because Zeus, along with other gods and goddesses, ventures to a particular city, and it was named, can you remember it? Yeah, that Ethiopians, and to attend a feast. So for 12 days in Olympus there will be none. So it is a request to Achilles by her mother that please wait for that moment. Whenever Zeus returns back to his own place, Olympus, I will go there. So the incidents are situated like that they after 12 days all of them are now returned back. Thetis did not forget the promise of her son. She rose up through the ocean waves at daybreak, then moved high up to the Olympus. So it is pleasantly remembered by Thetis, and it is a customary thing. It is a you can say it's a natural thing for a mother to think about her son's or her daughter's life and her daughter's urgency. So when the day comes, that means days of going to that place Olympus comes, Thetis just begins his journey after the breaking of the days. That means at the early morning at dawn. See, now venturing to that Olympus. And the description goes on like that. She rose up through the ocean waves and then moved high up. And the place Olympus is in the highest position of that particular mountain. She found Zeus, white-seeing son of Cronos, some distance from the rest, seated on the highest peak of many-reached Olympus. So she reaches that point, and then there she sees Zeus. Zeus is sitting at a particular place which is far above than all the gods and goddesses. That suggests the man's power, the man's position, that is in high ranking. Okay. And that particular incident, that many reached Olympus, the description of Olympus, which is situated particularly on the many peaks, several peaks of that mountain. That's why it's called many reached Olympus. She sat down right in front of him. With her left hand, she clutches his knee. With her right, she cupped his chin in supplication to Lord Zeus, son of Cronos. So she reaches there, and instantly she reaches to Zeus and sits in front of him. And at once she patted his hand, that means his palm. First, her left hand on the knees of Zeus, and she is holding him tightly. And with her right hand, she is touching her chin to soothe him, to care him in tender manner. And that the two things which our Thetis are actually doing at that point, to do the one thing to get the attention of Zeus, so that her request, that means in supplication, okay, her request to Lord Zeus may be fulfilled. Then she implores like that: Father Zeus, if among the deathless gods I have ever served you well in word or deed, then grant my prayer will be fulfilled. Then Thetis recalls Zeus that if she has done any favor to him, and really well that she was the person, she was the only goddess to help Zeus at his critical time when he was about to bounded by all other gods and kept aside in the clouds. Thetis saved his life. So that's why she's recalling Zeus once again, that if among the deathless gods, okay, I have served you, I have helped you, whether in what, that means she was the man to call that 100-handed person, okay, that Briareus, okay, that monster, with the help of him, she saved Zeus. So that's why it is by words and by deeds, okay, that's the issue. Then if I have done to you, then you have to repay me back. So that's why my prayer is that what is her prayer, and we will know later. And her prayer is by giving back the lost honor of Achilles. Okay, so that prayer will be fulfilled. And then she says that, bring honor, my son. Bring honor to my son. That means her son has lost the honor. Okay, who all men will be fate's quickest victim. And then she gives a particular fate about her son. That means Achilles is fated to live very short life. And there is a story. Actually, a great scholar, or you can say prophecy maker, named Prometheus once uh, our once all the gods and goddesses, that girl, that goddess named Thetis, one day will give birth a son who will be more powerful than his father. So it was a kind of threat to all the gods and goddesses. They are now thinking that if a sea goddess's son will become more powerful, then it will be a nightmare for them. So that man, that Zeus, plotted a plan, and by that they forced to marry Thetis to a mortal man. Pelos was a mortal man, and that's why Pelos and Thetis are now living not in the Olympus, rather they are living under the sea, under the ocean. So that's why, see, once again repeating that point, that you are well aware of it, that means her son's short life. Then for just now, then she signifies, she narrates the incidents what happened to Achilles, by which his owner has been destroyed, has been snatched away. Okay, and she goes on like that. Agamemnon, king of men, had sent him the main culprit, the main person who did this heinous job of snatching the owner of Achilles, and that is Agamemnon, that man. He seized his prize. He forcefully have taken away the prize actually which Achilles poses in his position. Okay, robbing him in person. So it was not a kind of a things asking and taking it. Rather, it is a kind of robbery, taking another captivated girls by force. So she explains to Zeus that it is not a moral work, it is not an ethical work for Agamemnon, it is a kind of a thefting or robbery. And he did it. And robbery, it is done by the help of robbers. So here he suggests the two men who were sent to the boat of Achilles, and that was Talthybius and Eurybius, the two heralds. So it's a kind of robbery, and it was done by the person whom Agamemnon sent to Achilles, and kept it for himself. And after taking that prize of Achilles to himself, he kept it in his own possession. So my one request, only one, I do not want to ask you anymore, just one thing: honor him. That means give him his honor back. Zeus, all wise Olympian, I know, Zeus, you have the power, you have the excess of power which can't be cut short. Give the Trojans and his now, that means Achilles' intention of sending his mother to Zeus is that now reveals that Achilles wishes that Trojans, the opponent party of Achaeans, should given the upper hand. That means they should be given the upper hand, upper power, or more power in the battle. Why? So that the all Achaeans feel the defeat. Okay, and at that point they will understand the necessity of that great warrior Achilles, and that point they will respect my son. All the Achaeans, and especially that Agamemnon, will respect the man until, and I am very much sure that I will not let you to list the power of the Trojans until you have to give the power to the Achaeans. So it is in the mode of that medium, that is Thetis, Achilles is seeming to speak to Zeus, and he says that I wish, that means Thetis says that my wish is that you should give the upper hand, the more power to the Trojans till that point when they feel the actual thing, actual guilt they have done for Achilles, and at that point they will need to multiply his respect. They need to bring back Achilles with honor, and at that particular time Agamemnon should have apologized to Achilles. So it is a kind of multiplication. So that was her request. Thetis finished. So Thetis completed his speech. At that particular point, after listening it, cloud gatherer Zeus did not respond. There is no movement. Nothing has found in the actions, in the postures of Zeus. He sat a long time silent. After listening this speech of this request of Thetis, Zeus is in his struggle in the mind. He is struggling what to do and what not to do. So that's why at that particular point Zeus is very much perplexed, very much puzzled. So that's why he is very much in a silent mood. Thetis held his knees, and as a boy or as a child who always wants a toy, if father or mother seems not to give it, then they're asking or requesting for that thing, or for any kind of toys or anything, becomes more politer and becomes more polite rather, and in a very more enthusiasm, very much caring mood. So such also seems in Thetis. Thetis held his knees once again and cleansing clothes, and she is putting herself very close to Thetis. That means she wants to say that just think of it, how much I love you. Okay, repeating her request once more, and accepting the actual response of Thetis, that means no response from Zeus. She once again repeating the request, the actual thing she is demanding from Zeus. Promise me truly, not your hate, or deny me. And then he is now so much requested. He is now so much requested by Thetis that she says that, promise me truly, hey Zeus, please promise me, please give me your consent, not your hate. Just move your head, assuring your consent. Okay, nodding means movement of head with the significance of saying that yes. Okay, so that's why not your head, that means either say yes or deny me. You can do anything. Why thus Thetis is saying such? Since there is nothing here for you to fear. Actually, Zeus is the topmost person in the Olympus. She is the king of gods and goddesses. So there was nobody, or there is rather nobody to go against him, or rather Zeus had any kind of fear for anybody else in the form of gods, goddesses, or men. So you have no fear. You can do whatever you wish. So there is no fear for you. So I will clearly see how among all gods enjoy the least respect. At Thetis is very much astonished with the attitude of Zeus, that Zeus is not speaking anything else. So she is now thinking that it may be resulted in negative way. So that's why she is signifying her own poor position, and he says that I will clearly see. I am clearly seeing my position. How among all the gods and goddesses I have given the very least position. That means I have not given any place to live in Olympus. I have already sent to live under sea, under ocean, and now I am saying that you have not remembered me at all. I, that person who helped you, who saved you, you have even forgotten me. So I think I have nothing meaningful here. I have nobody else of mine who can help me. Next, cloud gatherer Zeus greatly troubled. So now, seeing this situation, Zeus is feeling really puzzled, and he cannot think of what to do and what not to do. And then he said, a nasty business. That means a highly unpleasant and awkward job for him. And why? Why is it a nasty business? Because what you say here, what you say will set Hera against me. That means what Thetis is actually requesting to help the Trojans, and that means it is to go against his wife. You know, in the very outset of the epic, there is an incident that conquered of that golden apple, and in that apple, you know, Hera was very harshly rejected by Paris. Okay, and that is why Hera is against all the Troy cities, all the Trojans, and now you are saying that to help that party, and that means that you are making me forceful to have a fight with my own wife. So I am in real trouble. And then Zeus speaks to Thetis about the naggy, about the jealous kind of personality which his wife have possessed. And then he speaks like that. She provokes me. That means already and every time that lady, that Hera, incites, annoys that guy, that Zeus. So with her abuse, that means always, you know, Zeus has various kind of relationships with mortals and gods, and that's why Hera hates, Hera abuses Zeus. And here her abuse not mean doing or using any kind of slang or anything. Rather, it's a kind of misbehavior. It's a kind of reproaching to him. Okay. Even now, that at that particular point in the assembly of immortal gods, so there is an assembly. So all gods and goddesses have returned, and they are now gathered to enjoy a party. So now here in that assembly, and he is very much confident that if he does help or he does anything in favor of Thetis, he will be the butt of ridicules in that assembly. Okay, so accusing me of favoring the Trojans in the war, and she will definitely accuse me to do favor of the Trojans. Then he tries to pacify Thetis and wants to return her back. So Zeus says, but go away for now. Now you should go back, Thetis, and for two reasons. One reason is that in case Hera catches on, that means if Hera finds both of them, that means Zeus and Thetis together, then her anger will be at the topmost, and it will not be resulted in good way. So that's why you should return back. And on the other hand, Zeus is willing to help Thetis. So that's why he says to Thetis that please go back. I will think of it and I will try to help you. I have to think for that. So that's why I need time. But Thetis is not in a mood to go. And at that point, Zeus tries to convince her. Then he said, come to convince you. Okay, I will convince you. I will nod my head. Just wait. Just go for now and return back later. And at that point, when you will come back, I will convince you that I will assure you by nodding my head. Among gods, that's the strongest pledge I make. And you know really well, whenever I give my consent, and that is the ultimate thing. That means you need nothing, or you need to think of everything or anything else, because my commitment, my promise is everything. Once I nod my assent, once I have given my consent, nothing I say can be revoked, nothing can be returned back, or nothing can be I can withdraw. Okay, so don't think of it, just go back to your home very happily, that you will get the help from me. Okay, and at that point I will not deny, and you will not be unfulfilled. That means your promise or your request will not be unfulfilled. Okay, then Zeus, son of Cronos, nodded his dark brooch. So Zeus had to, or you can say have to, give the consent at that particular point, because Thetis is very much desperate. She is here to get the actual result at once. She is not in a mood to return back and then she will come here and again request Zeus. She is here to get her own that payback. Okay, that he did, or that she did earlier to Zeus. Okay, the divine here on the king of gods fell forward, down over his immortal head, shaking Olympus to its very face. So it is a kind of a description of how of that man, that king of gods and goddesses, nods his head. So that nodding is a kind of like that a very grand thing. So when Zeus nodded, all the place, that means the Olympians get shattered. It's a kind of shaky thing. All the Olympus now get alarmed of it. Then the conference over. The word conference is very much significant. Oh, one thing missed. Yes. Yeah. The word conference is very much significant here, because it is not a mere requesting. The requesting process goes on for a long time. At this one point, Zeus is remaining in his own silent mood, and on the other hand, Thetis is appealing. Okay, so that's why it is referred as conference. So the conference was over. Okay, is over. The two parted. That means Thetis also returned back after getting the consent of Zeus, and similarly Zeus also is now returning. Thetis plunged from bright Olympus back into the sea. So Thetis now returning back to her own place. Zeus went inside the house. Now Zeus entered the actual house where all the gods and goddesses there. The father present. As Zeus enters into the place, all the gods at once stood up from their seats. So it is a customary thing. Whenever king enters into the courtroom, all the courtiers and all the people have to stand up. So that's happened. No one dared stay put as he came in. So nobody has the dare to sit down. All rose together. Zeus seated himself upon his throne, and then Zeus goes to his own seat, that means the throne. Looking at him, Hera sensed he had made some deal with Thetis, and just at that particular moment when Zeus had taken his seat, Hera complains against him, because she had sensed something, because she picks, okay, P-double-E-K-S, that means over hearing that both of them talking about something. So that's why that Thetis has been discussed by here like that silver-footed daughter of the old of the sea. And you know, Thetis actually a daughter of a sea god named Nereus, or Nerus. Actually the actual spelling like goes on like that, Nereus, Nereus. Okay, so he is a sea god, and he is often described as a silver-footed. Okay, so that's why Thetis has been praised, but at the same time it is a kind of criticizing. Okay, at once she spoke up accusingly, and then she started speaking to Zeus in an accusing manner, in a blaming manner. Okay, and she charging like that. which God had seen, which God has been scheming with you. You crafty one. And she is very much sure that those two a person, Thetis and that Jewish, were talking about some secret plan. And then he says a very nasty word. She says a very nasty word to Jews, that you are a crafty one. That means you are a crooked one, you are a sly one, you are a cunning person. You always love to work on things in secret. That means you are a person who does not involve others, whatever you think or whatever you are intending in your mind. Whatever you want, you do in secret. Okay? Without involving me. I am your wife. I have the every right to discuss with you and to do what you want to wish, and I will have the consent with that your work, but you have never bothered to do it. You never want to tell me openly that you intend, and you never thought of telling me what you are intending to do. And you know, the modern theory that is called feminism, it is thought that it comes at the time when Mary Wollstonecraft wrote that vindication of women's right. But you have to understand that the concept of feminism is a kind of deeper one. It is really in the earlier age. It is found in Plato's Republic. It is found in here. Just think of that epic which is written in so much years ago in the BC, that in 8th BC. So here the concept of feminism also comes with that character of Hera. Okay, then the father of gods and men replied, and at that particular point, listening the such harsh words from Hera, replied, Hera, don't hope to understand my every plan. And he is condemning, and he is showing his anger over Hera. And he says, don't try to understand all my plan. It is my wish. So that suggests the whole scenario of the then society. In the contemporary society, the thumping effect of patriarchy has been evolved out in the character of Jews. Even for my own wife, that's dangerous. And then he says to Hera very threatening manner that don't think of that you are a goddess here. Okay, if you tell me having the recognition of my wife, then it will be a very worst thing for you. So the two part, one thing you are a goddess, one thing you are my wife. So in both the occasions, you have no right to go against me or to ask against my will. Okay, what's appropriate for you to hear about, no one, God or man, will know before you. And just think of it, you are the man or you are that person who is asking me. Just think of the other men who are present here. They have not dared to ask me because they know the actual power of mine. And you have no courtesy, and you have no kind of respect for me. And then, but when I wish to hide my thoughts from gods, don't you go digging after them, of pasturing me for every detail. So you need to go deeper in everything. I am the king of gods and goddesses. I have to maintain all things here and in earth. So that's why don't come on my way. Don't try to think deeper whatever I am planning to do. It's not good to you. He is once again giving his warning to Hera, making matters so much worse for you. And if you try to do it, then just think of it. It will be very bad for you. Okay, if things are as they are, then that's the way I want them. Just think of it. If I am not in a mood to tell you, I will not tell you, and you have to accept it. Okay, so sit down quietly. So it is better for you to sit down. Okay, do as I say and do what I am instructing. If not, then all the gods here on Olympus won't be any help when I reach out to set my hands on you, for they are invincible. And if you still not obey my orders, then my hands will not keep silent. It will go upon you and will beat you. And no gods and goddesses, even no man or anybody else can save you. And you know really well how worse I can be. Okay? Zeus finished speaking. So Zeus has finished his speaking. Ox-eyed Queen Hera sat down, and after that, listening this such grave words, Hera becomes very much afraid of, and then she sits down in fear, silently suppressing what her heart desires, and she has to suppress. She has to keep her own thinking, own wish in her secret heart. In Zeus's home, the Olympian gods began to quarrel, and at that particular point, all the gods and goddesses are quarreling with each other. Seeing this incident, their father and mother is fighting. So all of them are now in a mood to fussing, gossiping with each other. Then the famous artisan, the name of him is Hephaestus. Hephaestus is called the god of fire, and he is also called the god of craftsmanship. He has the expertise in doing metallic kind of things. So he concerned about his mother. He becomes very much concerned about his mother. That means mother's position, because she was scolded by his father. Okay, so spoke to them. Okay, at that point, Hephaestus spoke to them. A troublesome matter this will prove. Yes, it's a kind of troublesome matter. Unendurable, and I know really well, mother, it is unacceptable. Okay, if you two start fighting over mortal men like this, just think of it, mother and father. You are fighting for a silly reason, for that guy, that Achilles is, and for that cause of man, you both, the king and queen of gods and goddesses, are fighting. It is not a good thing. Inciting gods to quarrel, and by this you also energized all the gods and goddesses to fight. Then he says, if we start bickering, we can't enjoy the meal. And then he says to all the gods and goddesses, and especially to his mother, that if we start quarreling with each other, then what will be the actual need of this managing or preparing this party? Okay, all these healthy meals, our excellent banquet will be in vain. So I am urging mother, I am requesting mother, though she is more than willing to humor Zeus, our dear father, so he won't get angry once again, disturb the feast for us. He is once again requesting his mother, please don't go against his will, because if Zeus becomes very much angry, then everything will be destroyed. He will not let anything to happen. Okay, so please, mother, keep aside your prejudice, your disheartened heart, just for that moment, to enjoy that party. And then he discusses that, for if Zeus, the Olympian lord of lighting, was of a mind to hurl us from our seats, his strength too great, then he is warning all the gods and goddesses. Just think of, mother, how powerful Zeus is. He has the excellent capacity, and he has that bare aegis, and he has the power of lightning, that if we try to go against him, it will be nothing but a sheer madness for us. But if you talk to him with soothing words, at once Olympian Zeus will treat us well. And mother, if you try to talk with Zeus very politely, by suppressing your anger, and I wish we all will be very much happy. We all will be very much secure. Okay? Then Hephaestus spoke, then he stood up, passed a double goblet across to his dear mother, and then a kind of a pot, okay, a drinking pot. So he doubled it, okay, he poured with lot of wine and other things, and then he gave it to his mother, and then again he's saying, "Stay calm, mother, please stay calm, mother. Even though you were upset, I know you were upset, you were angry. If not, then as beloved as you are, I may see you beaten up before my eyes, with me incapable of helping out, though the sight would make me most unhappy. And if you do not do it, then it will be my sheer sadness that I can't see you beating by my father. And I am very much sure that nobody will stand against him. So please keep your anger, mother. It's hard to take stand opposing Zeus, and he is very much sure that it is very much futile to stand to go against Zeus. Oh my God, it is so much thundering. But I can't stop. I should continue it because I want to complete the text today. So please be with us, and please forgive me for such annoying sounds. Okay. Oh my God, it's too much horrible. Hey, let's come back. Once, when I was eager to assist you, Zeus seized me by the feet and threw me out down from heaven's height. Then Hephaestus is recalling an incident in which happened in past. Once Zeus took the side of his mother. Hephaestus took the side of his mother instead of his father, and as a result of it, Zeus kicked him out of the Olympus and thrown him down to the down, very very much down, and it was a kind of severe injury to him. The entire day I fell, and then right at sunset dropped on Lemnos, almost dead. And then he discussed about the incident, what happened at that particular point. Zeus kicked him out. He even did not care whether he is alive or not, that means his son is alive or not. And he was lying on that particular place named Lemnos, almost dead. Okay, and after that fall, main of Synthesis helped me to recover, and then he discussed about the incident by which he was recovered by all the men. Okay, so that incident that suggests that Zeus is very much merciless whenever anybody go against him. So it is not a good thing to go against him. So with that incident of his own predicament which he faced earlier, Hephaestus is warning everybody. Okay, as he spoke, the white-armed goddess Hera smiled. Listening this funny incident, though it is very much pathetic to Hephaestus, it seemed to all that it is a funny incident, and at that point Hera smiled. She reached for her son's goblet. She now, in pleasing mood, accepts the goblet which is given by her son. He poured the drink on it, going from right to left for all the other gods, and he is also serving the goblets and other dishes to all the people, drawing up sweet nectar from the mixing bowl, and from mixing bowl he's letting all them the sweet nectar to eat. Then their laughter broke out irrepressibly, and their enjoy now goes unbound. As the sacred gods saw Hephaestus bustling around, as all the gods and goddesses are seeing him, he is going hither and thither, running to serve all the gods and goddesses concerned about the feast. All are very much happy, very much in a joyous mood. All that day, all of them were dined, and they dined until sunset. They enjoyed the party, they enjoyed the meal for the till the sunset. No one's heart went unsatisfied. All were very much satisfied. All feasted equally. They heard exquisite music. They heard music from Apollo's lyre and Muses' beautiful song and counter song. So it is a kind of a happy party they are enjoying. When the sun's bright light had set, when the evening comes, the gods all went to their own homes. Now they are returning to their home. And the homes, Hephaestus, the famous lame god, and after that incident, that falling, Hephaestus become lame, cripple. So he is called lame god. Okay, with his resourceful skill, that means he is very much skillful in metallic work, and he made each god a place to live, and he prepared at a moment the houses, or you can say boarding places, for them to live. Olympian Zeus, god of lightning, went home to his own bed, and after that Zeus also is now returning back to his own house, own bed, where he usually reclined whenever sweet sleep came over him. And he goes to that particular bedroom whenever he feels the sweet sleep, that means a sound sleep. He went inside and lay down there, and he enters and sleeps there. And he sleeps with Hera, and that particular place, that golden throne stretched out beside him. So that's all. That's how the actual textual analysis of the book 1, the Iliad, comes to an end. So it's now the ending moment. So with that few words, first of all, I want once again your apologize because of this such annoying sounds. I have to do it because I have to complete the topic, so that's why I need to continue it. I needed to continue rather. So once again, it's a humble request to all that please stay at your home. Please keep yourself safe from all kinds of diseases such like that. So here you need to one thing, to be aware yourself and to make others to aware of it. Okay, so don't get panic. And if you have any kind of doubts regarding the text, any line, you can comment me, and you can also ask me on my WhatsApp number, and you can ask me also by giving your voice calls, etc. Thank you, and have a great time, and have a good life too.